broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Wait, how does it go? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I forgot how the dance goes. Oh man, I should know this dance too. I grew up in El Paso. Hey, AfterBuzzers! Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fresh Off the Boat. This is episode 10, Blind Spot, and I am your host, June Lee, and you guys can follow me on Twitter at ms_June Lee, and make sure to tune in and subscribe on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Hashtag, join the discussion, and this is my lovely host, Michelle.
Hi guys, I'm Michelle, and you can follow me on Twitter at _Michelle Phi.
I am just so excited about this episode. I love this episode.
Well, I can't
what did you
believe
think?
We're already on episode number 10.
I
I feel like
right?
we just started.
But at the same time, I can't believe it's already episode 10. I know. I feel like it's so weird because I feel like Fresh Off the Boat has become a phenomenon, right? And there's only been 10 episodes.
Right.
That just goes to show if you have a great show, that really hits a chord with a bunch of people, you can instantaneously almost become a success.
Right.
Yeah. But absolutely, I mean, time is just flying by. How many episodes do we get this season? I think 12?
12 or 13.
Yeah,
Usually the pilot is always 12 or 13.
Right. Well, I'm sure we'll be getting a second season. We'll get into that maybe later for predictions and stuff like that. So we open with science fair. Emery is working on this gnarly volcano, and we've all seen the volcano.
Been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. But Evan is this is his game. This is his space.
He's really smart.
He's so
it's
cute.
insane to me. He's so cute and so smart. I just want to hug him. He's so cute.
Oh, I know. And there was this episode, I think, was one of my favorite episodes so far. And I think we were saying before that we wanted to see more Emery, we wanted to see more Evan, and we got a ton of Emery and Evan this episode. So I'm very, very, very happy about that. Emery, there was so many quick little cute kind of one-liners and punchlines in this episode. Emery, even in the very beginning, Emery's when he's playing with the little people, and he was little does he knows he has another suitor. It's death.
Yeah.
He's very cute. Oh my gosh, he was so dramatic this episode.
He was.
Yeah. So
he had a lot of good lines.
Yeah, I know. So what did you? Obviously, you loved the episode.
I did. I loved it. I thought it was so cute. I loved them incorporating the science fair. I really like the two storylines, and I like how they mesh really well together.
You mean the
storyline with the kids separately, and then with the parents.
Yeah. Did you think that there was any sort of correlation or? I didn't particularly think that there was a connection. I think it was just two different storylines. It was this is the kids' world and this is the adult world. Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that was very interesting as well. So speaking of which, we go to Cattleman's Ranch after the opening scene with Evan, Emery, and Vanessa, who is an employee at Cattleman's Ranch, is kind of hitting on Lewis. Hardcore.
Not kind of. She is hitting on him.
Yeah, super hardcore.
I wrote down this line. She said, they were talking about bones or something like that, and then she said, "Oh, I bet you have a big bone."
Yeah.
And I was just
inappropriate. No,
right, and Lewis doesn't even get it.
I know. She was touching his chest, and she was saying, "Oh, Mr. Huang, you're so funny."
Yeah.
And
they were talking about funny bones.
Yes, and she was like, "I to me, the most important thing in a man is his funny bone or something like that." And he's like, and then she's like, "I bet you have a really big bone." And he's like, "That's interesting you say that. I actually do have big bones."
I love how he's so he just doesn't get it. He's just so out of it. He's oblivious to the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, they set it up really nicely. They set it up as this God, this show is just so, it's so heartwarming and like mushy and like gushy. Like it just makes me feel good because like they set it up so, you know, you weren't sure. Like I wasn't sure like in the beginning whether or not like he was kind of playing dumb, and I thought almost for a second that he was going along with it, like meaning like he was flirting with Vanessa, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then
I did too.
Yeah, but then later on they were kind of setting it up where, you know, like he's kind of like what his love door is broken.
Yeah.
But then like by the end of the episode, we saw that like his love door is broken, but he still also knows and appreciates the fact that his lovely wife Jessica is a catch. And you know, so I just thought that was just a lovely kind of arc. But so Jessica comes in. So many kind of moments in this episode where you're like, oh my gosh, is she gonna catch him talking to Vanessa?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Right? Or like even with the kids when you're like, oh, is Evan gonna like, you know, get caught trying to give the chickenpox to Emery?
Yeah.
So much like fun detail. But Jessica comes into Cattleman's ranch right after kind of like Vanessa and Louis had their, you know, moment, and she's like, you know, hey, I don't know if you remember Oscar Chow, like, you know, our buddy back from college.
Right.
He's coming into town to audition. Did she mention like auditioning?
No, she just said he was coming into town.
Yeah, he's coming into town. How do you feel about him like staying with us? And Louis is like, oh yeah, no worries, like it's all good.
Yeah.
And then so Jessica doesn't think anything of it, and not until she's like talking to other people, like what's the
I can't remember her name.
I know it's Herb.
Is it Lisa?
Lisa, I believe it was Lisa.
Okay.
So Lisa's like, wow, like Herb would just go crazy if I, you know. And then she's like, oh yeah. And then like she's talking to Honey because she's too cheap to buy an air mattress herself. She needs to go and rent one, borrow one from Honey. And Honey's like, oh my gosh, Marvin would totally freak out, because he thinks like I'm such a great catch, you know, like he doesn't trust any men around me. You see the like look of concern come over Jessica.
Well, it's not necessary. I feel like it's partially concerned, but at the same time, she's also like kind of heartbroken. Like she's like, does that mean I'm not a catch? Because
exactly, I know.
Jealous. But I feel like we understand their family dynamic enough now where they're not really lovey-dovey to each other. Like their family isn't like that. So I can see where she can get insecure because other people are saying that. Yeah. So it was really sad to me, but you know,
and I think like every woman can empathize, you know, and not just woman, but any person can empathize, you know, with, you know, knowing, like consciously knowing that something like being jealous or, you know, what's the word? Possessive is immature and unhealthy. But at the same time,
at the same time, it's like, oh, I am loved.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. At the same time, you know, that's the kind of like interesting and hard and fun thing about love, right? I don't know. Tweet at us. Let us know what you think
about love.
Yes, I know. Love is an interesting thing, and it is. Yeah, but you know, I thought that this episode approached it from a very fun but yet truthful and deep and almost kind of heavy, a little heavy. Yeah. Right?
And it wasn't very cheesy either, which is why I really enjoyed it. It's really hard to, I feel like a storyline like this is kind of hard to do within 30 minutes, but they wrote it very well, and it wasn't cheesy at all, and it was great.
I know it takes a certain amount of brilliance to kind of do it the way that they do it. And I feel like I'm just so excited for season 2 because I feel like every single episode, I don't know what it is. Obviously, we don't know what it's like to be in the writer's room. Right. Hopefully, we'll be getting some of the writers in soon.
Hopefully.
But I feel like their synergy kind of gets stronger and stronger, and it shows as the episodes progress.
Right.
Like, I don't know, it just gets better and better and better. I guess it's a natural kind of thing if you're a fan of a show and you notice it. But some shows, like, you know, it kind of just...
It's slow.
Yeah, it's a slow build-up, but like Fresh Off the Boat definitely has drawn me in, and many other people, by the way. But moving on, so you know, Jessica is trying to throw out a couple of things like, oh, you know what they say, then you never get over your first love. And what else does she say? She, you know, just little things like that to try to see if Louis is jealous.
Like, you know, I'm going to take him to go get a jacuzzi.
Yes,
maybe I'll wear my red bikini, trying to get him jealous. And He knew something she didn't.
Yeah. So he's like, what are you? So she's like, why aren't you jealous? Well, she gets angry at him.
Well, for a second I thought it was because Oscar was unattractive. So when he went to go answer the door, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, it's because he's not good looking. That's why Lewis is not jealous at all. But it was for a fairly different reason.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And this is terrible of me. I meant to look this up before we came on air, but who plays Oscar? Do you know the actor's name?
I don't, but I know he's on Young and Hungry.
Yes.
Oh, Rex Lee.
Rex Lee. Okay. He was amazing.
He's phenomenal. He's a great actor.
He's so phenomenal, and I just thought he was so brilliant. I thought he had so much heart. And I'm really, this episode was like a really special episode.
It was just a really good one.
Many levels. And then we're back to the kids, and we see what Evan's project is. So Eddie's freaking out because he doesn't have a project, of course.
Right. Not surprised at all.
Not surprised at all. But later on, he kind of pulls through, as he always does.
Yes.
And but we get to see what Evan's project is.
His project was the coolest one out of
it. Was legit. I mean, wow.
For a second there, when I watched it, I was like, is that real or was that just made up? You know what I mean? Like, was it added into the storyline, or was it something that the real Eddie Huang actually went through? But I mean, I'm sure it's not.
I'm sure it's
because
like
that's really complicated.
I know. Yeah. I mean,
it was really cool. It was like this. It was like hooked up to a printer, and it was a glass thing, and he just poured Dr. Pepper in it. And then I thought it was to power the printer to print something out, but it was just like it printed out all 23 ingredients.
Like 27 or something like that. Yeah.
That goes into Dr. Pepper.
I know. It was crazy and just insane. He just like broke it down. And what is he? So Evan keeps on telling Eddie to apply himself.
Oh, I wrote that quote down. It's my favorite one. He said, "If you keep looking for shortcuts, you'll never realize your potential."
And how true that is. How true that is for all of
everyone.
us.
Yeah, it's so relatable.
Yes, absolutely. What a wise, smart, brilliant young man Evan is.
Do we even know how old he is?
Oh my goodness. I think he's so young, because Luna is 13, 14, I believe. And
in the show?
I think no, in real life.
Oh, I'm talking about in the show.
Oh, in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I don't know how old he is in the show.
I don't know. I don't remember if they ever
think it's around
acknowledge.
6, 7, that 8, around that age range.
He should be in kindergarten, and he's making these super awesome science projects.
Well, that's Asians for you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But poor Evan. And he's wait. I think Eddie is like, where did you hear that from Barney? Oh yeah. And Evan's like, no, from Oprah.
Barney on Oprah.
Barney on Oprah. Yeah, so funny. But then. Great. Yeah, and Emery is just obsessed about getting his pizza party. But Evan gets sick with the chickenpox, and you got that so quickly. When I saw the chicken and the blood in the cells, I was like, what's going on? I wasn't sure what was happening.
I know about that sickness way too well. Have you ever had it?
No. Yes, I did have it, but it was just I was so young, I think.
Yeah, I was too, but I feel like it was. I don't know. I just don't know why I remember it. Maybe it was because I had a great time at home, because you know how they make you stay at home.
Yeah. I don't
that's
remember.
Why. But I saw the chickens and I was like, oh no, that's getting the chicken pox.
Wow. But kudos to you. You instantaneously knew. And I was like, I don't get it. Chicken, and the chicken song was coming up, and I was like, what am I missing? But okay, so Oscar comes, and he has wind chimes and French press for Lewis, but he only has a
sweatshirt for Jessica.
I know, and Jessica is so upset about it.
I would think that because he's gay, he would have a great gift for her,
I think he's always secretly hated her for taking away Lewis.
You think so?
That has to be it, right?
I mean, kind of, but he seems so sweet and sincere to her.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole episode.
That's true.
It's an ulterior motive, maybe.
I think they were kind of sort of going with that direction, but not wasn't committing to it.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be back. I mean, he was a great character. I hope he would be back.
I know, and him, and also, Phyllis, like, who was, you know, the Jewish, like, the Chinese boy who was adopted by a Jewish family. So many wonderful characters that I hope they bring back, and that I hope that Fresh Off the Boat stays on air for, you know, years
Many more years to come.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely going at a slow pace, so I think that's definitely a possibility.
Right.
But I love when Lewis is explaining to Jessica why her gator is broken, because so, like, they're at Cattleman's ranch, they're having, like, a meal together, and we see this lovely, you know, gay couple, you know, kissing each other, I think. Is that what they do? And, like, she's telling Emery and Evan, like, why can't you guys be like them? And Lewis is like, and they're walking down the street, and, like, you know, there's a group of, you know, gay guys just having a great night out, and she's like, watch out,
judging
Lewis.
them by the way they're dressed.
Yeah, she's like, gangbangers, you know. And they're watching Philadelphia, which is this classic movie that Tom Hanks was in. A beautiful, beautiful story about, you know, a gay man and his journey with AIDS, and it was just heartbreaking. She's like, what is this plot? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, she just has no idea. She's like saying, like, we need to have Rocky. It's like, she totally goes over her head. Bless her. Lewis still loves her.
Right.
But so she's, you know, realizes that, oh, maybe my guitar is broken. And I love when Oscar comes back and he's wearing her robe, right? And she's like, ding, 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 and he has a necklace that says Gaysian. Like, I could not get over him. And Rex was just so amazing.
He was great.
When does so they go into, so there's a little bit of, like, a misunderstanding between Jessica and Lewis, and Oscar and Lewis get a chance to kind of patch things up and talk things through.
Right.
And then they go look for Jessica. And Jessica is in a girl bar called the Denim Bar or something like that. Again, totally oblivious to the fact that she's in a lesbian bar. Right. And the guys go in, and the bartender tells them, hey, like, you know, you guys tired of running the world?
Right.
And Oscar is like, I'm a gay Asian. Like, the only thing I run, what does he say?
Our half marathon.
Yeah, the only thing. Just
so many great
brilliant.
lines.
I know.
In this episode alone.
I know.
It was awesome.
Seriously. We can just, like, stay here for, like, the next.
Just recite all of their lines.
I know. Just recite all of the lines throughout the episode. It was just so funny. Just so funny. And just like I said before, like, those little moments of, like, Eddie trying to get the chickenpox, and then Evan, like, you know, zipping himself up, like, quarantining himself in that, like, you know, dry cleaner bag.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So cute. He was like, I'm saving my chickenpox for somebody else.
Like, I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I know. So cute. So Eddie ultimately fails to get the chickenpox.
Yeah, but he actually got a C- for his science project.
That he did on chickenpox, because he got to learn all about it. So so it just goes to show that the best way to kind of learn about science is to pursue something that you're genuinely interested in.
Right.
Because science is in everything.
Right. Well, for a second, I thought he was going to, or they were going to, like, show us his science project, and I thought he would have brought his brothers, like,
that's what I was thinking.
In the dry clean bag.
Yes.
I thought they were going to do that.
Me too. That's totally where I thought they were. I think they had to wrap it up because they ran out of time.
Right. That would have been really cute to see, though. Or, like, maybe at the very end, instead of Oscar singing A Whole New World.
Yeah.
But that was great, too.
But that moment was great because then that set us up for, like, that, like, when Jessica is like, that's my ex-boyfriend. And Lewis is like, that's mine too. Oh my gosh, so funny. But I loved how, you know, Jessica tells Lewis, you know, right before they make up, that, like, you know, this whole entire time the real catch was you. And I thought that was really interesting because I do think, like, we live in a society where, you know, the men, I mean, like, maybe that's not true. At least I think,
like, people don't really appreciate their significant others as much as they should.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that, you know, like, in Asian culture, I don't know, I just kind of always feel like, you know, the girl is kind of, like, always a catch. Like, everyone's, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was really interesting. Like, it kind of just stood out to me, and I just really like the way they do that. I always really appreciate it when, like, shows kind of help me think about things, like, you know.
Like, just in real life.
Just in real life, you know, our social kind of, you know, how do you say, kind of like, norms,
yeah,
stuff like that, just kind of bring things to light. Our producer's like telling us to wrap it up. We can just like talk all day long about how great Fresh Off the Boat is, but just really quickly, any predictions for next episodes? I'm just so glad that we got to see more of Evan and Emery.
I did too.
Yeah.
Well, I predict that Oscar will eventually come back. Mm-hmm. Maybe instead of just being ex-boyfriend Oscar, he'll be like Uncle Oscar, and the kids will call him Uncle Oscar, and he'll be
I would love that.
A great addition to the family.
Definitely.
That'd be great.
Definitely. He's so funny. Yeah, I just want to see more of. I agree, Oscar, Evan, Emery. There's so many great characters. Mm-hmm. Fresh Off the Boat is definitely a character-driven show.
Right.
So, yeah, with that, I guess we have to wrap it up, unfortunately. I know. Never enough time.
I know. Never enough time.
But definitely tune in, you guys. Join the conversation. Fresh Off the Boat, ABTV. Where can we find you, Michelle?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Michelle Phi.
And you guys can find me on Twitter, ms_June Lee, and Instagram without the underscore. So until then, bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.